And then I'm going to say, hey, welcome back, everyone. This is the third webinar, and it's on Build, Scale, Done. So we are ready to build, scale, done. All right. So cool. So now let's talk about Facebook. Finally, Facebook, right? All the questions are about Facebook. We talked about Shopify so much and the store and e-commerce in general. So let's talk a little bit more about Facebook. Now, this year is to cover the basis, but we're going to drill down into the platform, into the structure of how Facebook assets are organized. And I'd be surprised if I can't surprise some of the old and experienced people on the call here with a few details here as well. So we're going to talk about Business Manager, Facebook ad account, ad accounts, about your personal profile, how this all relates, and how other people, other pages, the pixels, and catalogs relate to these items here in Facebook, okay? So now it's not your turn, it's my turn, because I'm going to show you this on this nice bubble.us chart. Now check this out. This is how it all starts, right? In your normal life as your Facebook user, your Facebook individual user, you have your personal profile, and then you have a personal profile ad account, right? And that needs to be activated. That's not active unless you go in there and you say, hey, I want to run some ads. Okay, this ad account is completely dormant. You wouldn't even know that it's there. Like probably you're 13, well, I don't know. But you're 80 or, well, I don't know about that either. So, no, a lot of people are not aware that they have an ad account that's attached to each profile because it's dormant and sleeping. Okay, so you need to activate that. But actually, then you have pages. So if you create pages, you don't need a business manager, and you can just, have your pages, and they're all linked directly to you. You can add people to your pages that help you design the pages or help you manage and admin the pages. Okay, that's where kind of people come in to play, where you define roles. You define the page roles for the people that you're going to add in specific admin roles to the page. All right, but in this realm, it's all kind of like playing around, being people, and doing harmless things. But once you run ads on Facebook for the purpose of actually running a business and doing e-commerce, Facebook strongly recommends to go to business.facebook.com and register for a free business manager account, and then you're going to really play the game in the big leagues. So let me move over this stuff here a little bit, because I want to kind of illustrate that for you.
And can we just get in the chat, you guys all have your business manager already set up, or is this the first time you've heard of business managers? Let's just kind of see where people are at.
Yes, that's an awesome idea. So let me move these things a little bit closer in, and we're going to look at the chat here. You're going to help me look at the chat.
Set up already.
Set up already. Okay, awesome. So there are videos, instruction videos on how to actually set up the business manager. We're not going to go through this right now. That's in the members area, all ready to go. It'll be made live as soon as we're done with this session right here. But I want to just walk you over the big scheme overview, okay? So what it is, when you sign up for a business manager, the business manager is right here. And the one thing that can only live inside the business manager is the catalogs, right? And that's really strange, because the catalogs don't have anything to do with ad accounts. They don't have anything to do with their profiles. They don't even really have anything to do with pixels, but they are all their own. They're product catalogs, and they just live directly in business managers. And so now what happens when you have your own business manager, there's a workflow where Facebook tells you, okay, now claim your personal ad account into your business manager. And by the time you have your business manager, it kind of feels like, well, your profile is kind of side by side here. Your profile is here, and then there's a business manager. And then I tell you, okay, so now come on in here and claim your ad account into your business manager. And then it kind of looks like this. So now your personal ad account is an ad account inside Business Manager, okay? So now you go, all right, well, I can still access my ad account as a person,
Right.
but somehow I can't access it yet from inside Business Manager. So how am I now? This feels strange. Now I'm sitting outside of Business Manager. I still have access to my personal ad account, but I claimed my ad account into Business Manager, and I don't have ad account access inside Business Manager. Well, there's a fix for this, because automatically you are also an entity inside your Business Manager as a person. And you as a person are in the Business Manager, and then you can assign yourself a role on your ad account. This is like really strange. You go, what? I already have a role. And so why is this now there, right? So that's how this works. That's how it's incorporated. And then from there on out, you can blow everything up. So once you're in there, your pages are all of a sudden visible in Business Manager as well. And other people are not in your Business Manager yet. So the other people are now still directly linked to your pages because you've added them there in whatever roles you added them under. But what you should do here to also clean that relationship up, you should bring these people into your Business Manager and add them as people to your Business Manager, and then they're also going to be able to manage your pages as not themselves, but as the basically employee, a person inside the Business Manager. Okay, so now that we have this all well organized, this is kind of your core structure of the Business Manager here. We have this all well organized. Everything is now inside Business Manager. And now the game really can begin, because now you can build more ad accounts in your Business Manager. You can open more ad accounts in your Business Manager. So this is a multitude of ad accounts inside your Business Manager. Maybe I should put this over here. And because of that, you now also have access to more pixels, because every single one of these ad accounts has their own pixels. And for this very strange reason, Facebook now decides, oh, let's just have pixel managed inside Business Manager, right? So they're all your pixels, and they're also going to be in your Business Manager. So what does that look like inside your Business Manager? Well, it looks just like this. Right now, how do you get to this page? Well, there's a gear icon. When you click this, no matter where you are in your business settings, or no matter where you are in your business ad accounts inside your Business Manager, whatever view you're in, if you click on this gear icon here, it gets you to this view, and it's going to land you on the People's page in this view, okay, on the People's tab. So how these tabs here have all these assets and then some that I just mentioned, right? So there's the people, there are the pages, there are the ad accounts, and there's the pixels, and there's the catalogs. And then beyond that, there's all kinds of stuff. They're adding stuff to this, like on a daily basis or weekly basis, so that you can manage all your assets there in Business Manager. Now let's talk a little bit about ad accounts and pages. One thing that is strange and new and cumbersome, so two things, right? There's ad accounts, if you have multiple ad accounts, and if you have multiple pixels. You should manage them inside of Business Manager. And the one thing that I want to point out here is the payments. So payment methods, you can set up payment methods based on each ad account, because when you're inside the ad account, you're in Audience Manager here, in Ads Manager, and then you can access the mega menu here on top. You can go to the mega menu and you go to payments. Where's payments? Forget where it is because I don't.
Billing.
Yeah, billing. Yeah, billing. Okay, so billing. This billing tab in the mega menu is payment settings. Yeah, is specific to this ad account.
Yeah.
Okay, so the payment methods that are here are set up. You can set them up here for this specific ad account. Okay. So, however, the better way to do things when you have a Business Manager is to go back to Business Manager settings and come over here where it says payments right here, payments inside the Business Manager. So now this payment option, these payment methods here are going to be set up inside the Business Manager. And because of that, they're going to be available to any account that is set up inside the Business Manager. And for that purpose, it doesn't matter if the business manager owns that account, or if the business manager is only, if the account has only been added as a partner account to this business manager. So I can set up a payment method in one business manager and assign that to an ad account that is actually owned by another business manager.
Gotcha. Okay.
This stuff
makes
works,
sense,
and
yeah.
this makes sense. And the more you use this stuff on the kind of higher hierarchy level, the more seriously will Facebook take you in terms of, we're actually going to consider you a business. They're still going to block your ad accounts if you do something that blatantly violates policy. But they're going to actually talk to you with more respect as a business, right? And you can do things like, for example, here, this help section. After a while, this is not available for some reason to everyone, but after a while, you will see that there are help options available. Probably not right now because we're at the end of a business day, so this is not a good time to show this. I'm going to show this to you tomorrow. So yeah, adding payment methods. You can add different types of payment methods here. You can add accounts, like bank accounts. You can add PayPal accounts. You can add credit cards. And I predict pretty soon you can add, Bitcoin and stuff like that as payment methods. Not just yet, but it'll come. It'll all come in due time.
Right.
Okay, cool. So this is kind of how this stuff works here. Then inside the businesses, there's not that much more to show inside Business Manager here, except maybe getting into catalogs and that kind of stuff. But that's already very high level stuff. So I didn't really, since I recommended Retarget app, I didn't want to get too deep into that. So with this said, I'm going to show you the place where to go, the place to go in your members area, because down here I'm going to open up the modules here for the Facebook setup. Okay, Facebook setup are down there. So that means I'm going to grab those right here.
Yep.
Yes. Grab these two and make them live. And so now when you refresh the page, you have access to these additional setup training videos. Creating a Facebook pixel, of course, that's a whole nother can of worms. And you want to use multiple payment options and set them up as each other's backup and so forth, so that you never ever miss a payment, right? Missing payments on Facebook is not a good thing. The ad gets shut down and slowed down, and then optimization drops out, and that's not good. How? What do you mean how?
Do you use how is Retarget app?
Oh well, it's not. It's related in that if you're using Retarget app, you don't need to worry about setting up catalogs. That's
because it's already, that's what it does.
Yeah, Retarget app kind of does the dynamic retargeting for you catalog wide, and so you have to worry about your own catalog when you do that.
Do you use PayPal or credit card to pay? Either or.
Yeah, I answered that already. So PayPal, credit card, or bank account. You can use these three payment options are accepted right now. It doesn't matter. It's whichever works. The one that works is better.
You can. It depends on what you use it for too. Because credit cards, I think there's a Chase card that gives you 3% back on your ad spend.
Yeah. So here's a question from Mary. I heard it's possible to create 2 business manager accounts under one profile. Do you recommend this? Yes, I do. Creating as much as possible of everything, I always recommend. And that's a little bit of an advanced strategy again. 2 business managers, and in each business manager, just max out the amount of accounts that you can create. That's what we do. And you use them later. It doesn't matter if they're sitting around and you don't know what to do with them yet, but just having them there is that's a good thing. Okay, let's open up a little bit of Q&A now, just incorporating this into this session because it's a very short session. It's not really, a session that should take us a whole lot of time here. So just keep on going with your questions.
All right, if I have
And I'll keep this open. Maybe this.
So Harris asked, if I have 3 payment instruments in a business manager, if my ad account gets blocked, would they block all 3 ad accounts? If your ad account gets blocked or if your payment method gets blocked,
Well, so if you have the same payment method hooked up to 3 ad accounts and the payment method fails, then it would fail in all 3 ad accounts, right?
Yep.
If they block one of the ad accounts, the other ad accounts don't have anything to do with that just because you're using the same payment method.
Yep.
And particularly if you hook it up like I just showed you with the business manager payment method, that is not effective.
If Facebook blocks your
I
ad
think
account, doesn't mean that your approach will block all other ad accounts.
No.
Okay, sorry, payment methods, all 3 payment methods.
Well, okay, hang on a second. So that is a trick question.
Okay.
Block the ad account, it's usually block method of payment. No, that question is not a trick question. So the answer to that is no, it won't block that. But however, if the reason why your ad account is blocked is that they're unhappy with your payment method, then that affects everything that is tied to that payment method. So there is that situation. This kind of stuff happens when you have to be careful in situations where you're using partners in the same business. They can all be legitimate partners in the same business, and they're making payments from different countries. And I mean, there are some countries that are kind of on the blacklist. If you mix those countries in with combined with owners in other countries, then that's kind of a red flag. And they're going to be so scrutinous. And not only, I mean, sometimes I've actually seen cases where scrutiny couldn't be overcome by documentation. It's just that they're all of a sudden they block you off and they say, we're not going to talk about it anymore. Now sit down and shut up and do something else. You know, it's just like that. They were not happy with your payment method. Can't give you any more information. That's it.
Yeah. So it's tough. Like I've had my ad accounts blocked. Not blocked because of anything I did. It was more of a mistake because here's what you don't want to do, and I learned it the hard way. Was I had PayPal and I had I had my debit card. What happened was I lost my debit card in life, and I lost it, and I reported it stolen, and I totally forgot I reported it stolen, and I used what happened was I think I owed Facebook like $4,000, and I had $2,001 and then $3,001, and I just made the payment. And usually what it does is it'll pull out whatever it can from PayPal, and it'll pull out from your backup account, which is the debit account. And I had done that before and had worked, so I thought it was going to work again. But
I'm going on camera.
Oh, sorry. But what happened was because my old debit card, I had reported it stolen, had a fraud alert on it, and it flagged Facebook. And I'm telling you, it was hell for like 3 weeks. Nothing. My PayPal wouldn't work anymore. My credit card wouldn't work. My debit card wouldn't work. Nothing would work. We had to get new ad accounts, put them all on a new thing. And we were working with Oliver at the time, and it was chaos. So
Harris had a similar experience there. They said, we're not going to talk to anything. Sit down. Last week, I noticed I got that account back.
Oh.
That's a funny story. I mean, you know, there are definitely things every now and then that happen in Facebook that are beyond rational explanation.
Yeah.
Actually, quite a few.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Anything else? Any other questions? Did we have anything that we didn't check off here yet? No, I think we're good on those. So I think we're good.
Yeah, the main thing is we want to make sure if you don't have an ad account or a business manager, make sure you set that up tonight.
Yeah, if you don't have anything set up, or if you have anything missing there, just go in and tweak it and clean it up. Harris, what do you mean? Thomas, can you please give us a guideline if you want to start over with a new Facebook account? You mean in terms of clarity in the structure, or you mean in terms of training pixels and that kind of stuff? What aspect of this has to do with the setup? Do we need a lot of ad accounts? Well, if you want to scale, it's good to have ad accounts in reserve, because sometimes we actually find that it's easier to scale you know, 5 ad accounts to $10,000 each than 1 to 50,000. And that kind of happens. It's one of the more advanced head scratching situations, but it does happen. So we generally like to use multiple ad accounts. Personally, I'm one thing I'll never do in one ad account, and that is running DPA ads. So when I run my own dynamic product ads and even individual retargeting ads, I strongly prefer to run them in a second ad account. So for that alone, I want you to have a secondary ad account. But again, that's a slightly advanced concept. I'll talk more about that tomorrow. We'll go into a lot more details about Facebook, of course, tomorrow. Arne, what do you think? Does the time zone and currency affect your ads? For example, German account with ads in the US. I prefer to have the US, if you're focusing your ads in the US, then I would prefer you to have a Pacific time zone account and with US currency. We have some really strange situations where, well, I'm not going to tell you about this right now. It's going to be too confusing. And so yeah, so US account, currency I think is probably the least of your worries, but time zone in terms of when does the Facebook day, the Facebook account day end relative to when does the traffic come. I believe that that makes a fairly big difference. So in, maybe I can draw on my screen now on purpose. Let me see if I can make this happen and actually draw on this on purpose. So when you have, you know, your Facebook account day, let's say it's, you know, this is kind of the timeline of your Facebook account. This is, you know, in the morning, and then here, this is at the end of the day. It is a 0 again, the next midnight, right? So here's noon, and that's your Facebook account time. So now your Facebook account time is independent of the time zone in the areas that you advertise in, right? So therefore, if you have this set to Pacific time, so Pacific Standard Time, if it's like that, Pacific Standard Time, and you advertise to the US, then your traffic pattern will usually be something like this. Morning traffic, rush hour, right? Damn, then it diddles a little bit like this, and it dips a little bit. People are actually working. And then lunch break, and then it diddles a bit, they go back to work. And then, oh, they get home, and everybody's home and having parties and blah, blah, blah. And then it kind of dwindles. And by the time the Pacific time zone goes to sleep, which is when your time changes here, right? Mm-hmm. All of these guys are over. Like these guys on the East Coast are already 3 hours back. They're already sleeping here, right? So that's why traffic patterns kind of reduce themselves, starting to reduce here. Mm-hmm. So I believe that because these traffic patterns happen in this type of shape in every human time zone of any human users that live in the same group of time zones, they happen like this. And I believe that it is beneficial to capture the run-up and the run-down within the Facebook time zone in your ad account, okay? So that's why I do not like it when a client comes and they have, you know, a ad account in EST time zone. So all of a sudden comes EST time zone. I'm sorry that I'm doing this on the back of my, maybe I can do this. Haha, look at, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So based on the EST time zone, the EST time zone starts, whoops, I want to draw again. Let me draw some more. There you go. You have to click that. All right. So EST time zone, no, I'm all screwed up.
I think you gotta click the draw and then click.
And then do it?
Is there a,
this?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know, nice. Thanks, he is so good, how's you guys? Okay, so here's your EST time zone. And EST now gets the rest, the tail end of this, right? So EST, the time change is here, the date change is here. Yep. So that means that the EST day now gets broken up like this. So the EST time zone gets the traffic pattern of the rundown first, then it's sleeping, and it's really low, then it runs up, and then it stops in the middle of fairly strong traffic.
Right.
Personally, I feel that this is not a good thing to do. So if you're focusing on a specific time zone for your advertisement, get the time zone of your ad account tuned in with the time zone of your traffic pattern. If you advertise worldwide, or you have multiple traffic patterns where all of a sudden you come in here and there's European traffic, right? European traffic goes completely different patterns. European traffic wakes up back here and does its thing in the similar way as US does, and then it goes down this way or whatever, right? And then Asian traffic comes over here and does its own thing out of sync with all of that. And by the time you have all of these worldwide traffic centers that are in different time zones altogether, it doesn't matter at all, because then you always have traffic. Mm-hmm. And you're always tapping into some traffic that ends and some traffic that begins, mm-hmm. and some traffic that wakes up. So for that, it doesn't matter. But if you're focusing on a set of time zones, like 4 time zones in the US, get your time zone in the ad account tweaked so that it captures the traffic, the bulk of the traffic within the day in Facebook.
All right. Good question.
Okay. I think bam. There you go. Bring this back. Cool. All right.
Somebody asked above this. Somebody asked about does the ad account affect niches? I mean, affect your pixel? Does it affect pixel? You can use the same pixel for.
Yeah, you can share pixels and ad accounts. So that's what you do this in the Business Manager here. Go to pixels. I don't want to click on pixels because there are a bunch of pixels in there that are too revealing of my secrets. But no, when you're in pixels here, and
I have a demo.
You have a demo on that. Yeah. So in pixels, you can assign, just like you assign assets here.
I didn't do pixels.
No, right. So when you're in pixels, you can assign pixels to ad accounts. You assign ad accounts in the pixels. So you click in the pixels, then this button here becomes like assign ad accounts.
Yep.
And then you get the whole list and you can assign them there. Cool. And that's sharing. That's sharing the pixel into the ad account.
Okay. So he created a new Facebook.
Between cards and tried skin aggressive team in your ad account, they blocked it too.
Oh, because
maybe it's because of the new things that you did. You're a repeat offender.
Repeat offender, so they put you on file. Okay.
And for India, ad account on my Singapore company in targeting US. When would the Facebook day would end? Well, it depends. The ad account time zone is determined in the ad account.
Yeah.
Let's go back to this one here. Let's go to Ads Manager. You can see the ad account time zone in Ads Manager when you're looking at the time selected. And down here it says what time zone it is.
Pacific time.
This happens to be in Pacific time. So whatever the time zone of your ad account is, that's what it is. Now, you cannot change your time zone in your ad account unless you erase everything that's in the ad account. So that's another reason why creating more ad accounts can be a good thing. So if you create a bunch of ad accounts before you do anything with it, and that, then you may have to do a different time zone later. So, but as long as the ad accounts are empty, it doesn't matter, right? You can delete them and just make a new one and make it in the ad account in that time zone where it needs to be. What about advertising for Austria, New Zealand, UK? Can we use the same US ad account, or should we use separate ad for each country? Well, we've actually ran fairly extensive testing on that, and the word is probably that it matters, but it's not super important. So it's like it can sometimes be this way and sometimes go this way. In general, when you have so currency, we're not talking about currency, right? We're talking about time zone versus traffic time zone. And I mean, I pretty much completely explained it. Maybe you asked the question before I was done with my drawing. Yeah. How to open more ad accounts? That's simple. You go back into your Business Manager here on the ad accounts, and you go to add new ad accounts.
Yep.
Down there.
It's in the video. It's in the video.
Yeah, that's in the video too. All right. So where are the videos? Let me show you that again. They are right here. Setting up, creating creating Facebook pixel. Here's business manager and ad account.
Yep, and also
Facebook
your
page.
Facebook page.
Awesome.
So usually, yeah, because you want to use a business page for your store, unless somehow your personal page is your store related somehow.
Yeah, you will. There's a maximum that is always set in the business manager. It's initially can be kind of low. It can be like 5 or 10. 5 or 10. Can also be 25. But you can then always ask for increase. Ask for an increase and create more. And I've heard that the absolute limit is 1,000 ad accounts in a business manager. Yeah, there you go. Daniel knows. Daniel knows everything. You get 800 from them. There you go. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah, we have some people in common that we know, that we both know. Okay, awesomeness, people.
All right.
Good. So if you're, I mean, your Arndt says, why do I need 1,000 ad accounts? The truth is probably you don't need 1,000 ad accounts very soon, but it's comforting that you can have that many. So you can run some tests. If you get one banned, then you should start a new one and run that. That's the reason, by the way, why you want to create a whole bunch of ad accounts at the beginning or right away, because that can become more difficult. If you get an ad account banned, then Facebook can disallow you from creating more ad accounts in the same business manager. So I'm using one pixel for each winning product, and then a master pixel test products, and all of that under one business manager. Dude, you're in the wrong group here. Harris is an advanced guy, so that is like to make the newbies wiggle their ears. I'm just repeating as this was missed earlier. If we open 2 business managers, does Facebook treat the second as totally independent of one another? Yeah, they're 2 businesses. I mean, it's really surprising to me that they don't allow more than that, because really, business managers are important to keep in certain aspects. So, for example, there are situations that you can think about. For example, creating a Shopify store, ramp it up to a certain amount of sales, and then selling this as a self-contained business. That is a totally viable exit strategy for building a business in e-commerce and then exiting that by handing it off to an investor for a nice 6-7 figure payoff. That is totally realistic and totally possible. Now, the problem with that is, what are you going to do with the ad accounts, with the business manager, with all of that? Particularly, what are you going to do with that when you still have things in the business manager account that you want to hold on to, that you want to do other things with, right? That you can't just sell with that, but then you can also not that easily move an account out of a business manager. So in a perfect world, you would just want to be able to keep a business manager self-contained for this business, and when you decide to start a new ad account, you want to start a new Shopify store, you just put everything for that Shopify store in a different business manager. And that's where the limit to 2 business managers is really, quite limiting. So, no, no, that's not a problem. They're completely separate. So you can open as many ad accounts in one business manager as they allow you for that, and then use some of them and then ask for another increase and create more. And in the meantime, the second business manager is different. There's a workaround the 2 business manager limit, in that you can actually have someone else on another profile set up a business manager. I wouldn't recommend that you personally create a second profile. That is one of the biggest red flags that you can do in Facebook, is be the same person and have 2 personal profiles in Facebook. You really don't want to do that. That is bad news. So never ever try to do that. But you can go to your children, you can go to that who never ever want to know anything about e-commerce or Facebook marketing, right? You talk them out of that idea. It's just a stupid idea to try and start Facebook marketing. And then or a good friend or whatever, and you have them set up a business manager, put you in there, add you as a person, make you an admin, and then they can actually leave the business manager, and you can still have control of that, and you're now being the only admin and the business manager. You have a third one. That's why I had 3 business managers that were mine, And then I went to Facebook and said, I want to create another one. They said, you can only have 2. I said, wait a minute, I have 3. No, you can only have 2. But I have 3. No, you can only have 2. So there you go. Yeah, okay, so don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone on Facebook they have 4. So yeah, the business manager, you just remove yourself from the business manager. You can remove yourself as an admin when you create. So the profile that initially creates the business manager can then add another profile to that, make that profile an admin. It can be a profile that already owns 2 business managers by themselves. So then they're added as an admin to the 3rd business manager, and then the original creator of that 3rd business manager removes themselves as an admin from that business manager. Now that user who was added to that as a 3rd business manager owns 3, and the original owner of that business manager is out of the loop. Now, here's another question that I don't know the answer for. And that is, can that other person still create 2 new business managers? Yeah, there you go. That's the next question. Okay, you can try that out. Since you have 4 profiles, you can try it out.
Right.
Okay, guys, we are at the end of the day. We have to do a hard cutoff here at 6 o'clock because we have to get out, because I have to go to my concert. And because we'll see you back here early, bright and early, surely in the morning. So awesome day. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Good job.
Bye, Ken. Bye.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your help. Guys, say thanks to everyone here. And I'll go back to...
Yes. Oh, and then just so maybe give some homework for tonight is to make sure your business managers are set. Check out the bonus video where Bridget talks about the AliExpress suppliers, how to find the right ones, and have some products. If you don't already, have some products ready to
product research.
Do the product research, dig into that, and have some products ready. Maybe 5 to 10 of them.
Products loaded up into your Shopify store.
Yep.
I mean, even if you do not have one Shopify store right now, you can have everything now that you need to get them in, get them set up, get the products in there, and you're good to go.
And then tomorrow we'll get them out there and start.
If you run out of things to do, go on Canva and tweak your product images and make them into a nice looking ad image.
Yeah, 1200 by 1200 works really well.
Okay, there you go. Guys, thanks to all.
Have fun, you guys are
I'll
awesome.
see you tomorrow, bright and early, 9 a.m. CST. All right, see you then.
Bye.